the people how the budget is going to serve them. So I'll urge you, all of you, to take part in the interrogations, and so that on Tuesday, when the report is here on the table, each one of you can debate on it from a very informed point of view. This was done in appreciation of the fact that you haven't been having physical meetings because of the restrictions on COVID-19. And because today you're here, and I know there are other members who are seated out in the tent, also facilitated, get together and remember to observe the social distancing and to keep your masks and to wash your hands and to sanitize them. All those facilities have been made available for you by the Assembly. Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 3, presentation of budget highlights and the revenue measures for the financial year 2020-2021.
Thank you. Honorable members, you are aware that the County Executive Committee member for Finance and Economic Planning is here with us, and his purpose of being here is to present the budget highlights and the revenue-raising pronouncements. And I just want to remind you, members, that under Standing Order number 20, Suborder 3 of the Assembly Standing Orders, he is to be heard in silence. And so I take this opportunity, honorable members, and Your Excellency, the CEC member for Finance, doubling as Deputy Governor, I take the opportunity to invite you so that you can wake up and make the presentations that I've brought you to make here before the House. We welcome you with both hands.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, it is indeed an honor for me to present to this Honorable House the highlights of the budget for financial year 2020-2021. This is in fulfillment of the requirement of the Constitution of Kenya, PFM Act 2012, Section 132, and other county laws. Madam Speaker, before I proceed, allow me to express my gratitude to the Chair and members of the Budget and Appropriations Committee and other sectoral committees at the County Assembly for the constructive engagements and support in review of the financial year 2020-2021 budget estimates. Madam Speaker, allow me to also express my appreciation to all development partners for the support they have extended to this government over the years since the advent of devolution. Their support has gone a long way in addressing the development challenges that are facing our county towards fighting the pandemic as well as continuing to offer essential services to our populace. Madam Speaker, we have time and again demonstrated that we can rally and overcome calamities. However insurmountable they may appear, under the leadership of His Excellency, the Governor, Dr. Alfred Mutua, through the Maendeleo Chap-Chap philosophy. To put this in context, Madam Speaker, I wish to quote the former British Prime Minister, Sir Winston Churchill, who said, Never let a good crisis go to waste. Churchill was using the phrase in a wartime context, but what he meant was that a crisis can bring out the best in us, as evidenced in our resilience and swift response to the COVID-19 pandemic. In preparing this budget, Madam Speaker, I put the focus on sustainable socioeconomic growth, which will see improvements in the agricultural production, expansion of infrastructure, better healthcare services, provision of clean and safe drinking water, besides development in our technical institutions, hence the theme, building resilience and enhancing sustainable socioeconomic development. I am well aware, Madam Speaker, that the financial resources alone are not enough to tackle the challenges that we are facing. However, making good use of the fiscal reserves to support growth and ease impact of hardships is certainly in line with our people's expectations towards the government under the current challenging environment. Madam Speaker, this year's theme has been aligned to the National 8-Point Economic Stimulus Program, which include infrastructure, improving education outcomes, enhancing liquidity to businesses, improving health outcomes, agriculture and food security, tourism promotion, improving environment, water and sanitation facilities, and manufacturing. Madam Speaker, the combined efforts of my colleagues and the public officials in the various departments have been made to the county treasury by various stakeholders in the county, including the business and labor organizations, through public participation engagements. As usual, I have found their recommendations to be particularly relevant to our circumstances, and their inputs are part of our budget agenda. Madam Speaker, the global outbreak and the rapid spread of the COVID-19 pandemic has led to contraction of the global economy with disastrous consequences. The pandemic containment measures aimed at saving lives have disrupted the business environment, including international trade, leading to loss of livelihoods for millions of people globally. Madam Speaker, Kenya and our county in particular has not been spared. Evidently, the pandemic and the swift containment measures have not only disrupted our ways of life and livelihoods, but to a greater extent the businesses. These measures, including enforcement of basic hygiene and social distancing, were not only necessary, but also timely, as they have indeed stemmed a surge of infections and loss of lives. Madam Speaker, cognizant of the magnitude of the effects of COVID-19 pandemic, we have set up a robust prevention, surveillance, contact tracing, quarantine isolation and management programs, and equipped isolation wards and ICUs. This, Madam Speaker, ensured that the county boldly managed to contain the pandemic and curtailed its spread through the fight, which is not yet over. We have also sensitized and trained 2,530 community health volunteers to provide primary health care at the community level. Madam Speaker, this far, allow me to express my deep appreciation to our frontline health professionals for the sacrifices they have made to fight this pandemic. In addition, the county, through the Department of Education, has engaged five 5 vocational training centers for mass production of face masks. To date, Madam Speaker, we have produced over 400,000 face masks, which are being distributed to the locals free of charge. Further, in partnership with our development partners and well-wishers, we have distributed foodstuffs, sanitizers, and water tanks to our people. We express our sincere gratitude to our development partners and well-wishers for standing with us during this challenging time. Madam Speaker, we have also set up 375 bed capacity isolation centers across the county with a target of 600 patients in the worst case scenario, besides Machakos Level 5 being one of the few public health facilities approved to undertake COVID-19 testing. Madam Speaker, in addition to the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, our economy has also experienced 2 other shocks. First, the massive invasion of swarms of desert locusts that damaged crops in parts of the county. And secondly, the heavy rains that led to destruction of infrastructure and especially the road network. Madam Speaker, in addition to the recent shocks experienced by the economy, we are still confronted by other challenges which include high instances of poverty and unemployment, frequent droughts, low agricultural productivity due to over-reliance of rain-fed agriculture, higher investments in the health sector, and inadequate revenues. Madam Speaker, these challenges, including the devastating effects of COVID-19 pandemic, require bold actions and fiscal discipline if we are to position our county on a sustainable economic growth trajectory. Madam Speaker, allow me now to delve in the highlights of the county's spending priorities in the coming financial year 2020-2021. Madam Speaker, as we strive to overcome the current challenges, we must recognize that ensuring a sustainable development requires a healthy population. To achieve this, the government will continue to strengthen the health system and provide essential medical supplies for the delivery of quality healthcare services as close to the people as possible. In this regard, the government will prioritize recruitment of frontline health personnel, infrastructure development, and the provision of medical supplies. The county government target is to have at least 1 community hospital in each electoral ward in order to reduce the distance wananchi travel to seek critical health care. Madam Speaker, 20 community hospitals have so far been completed, 56 level 2 health facilities gazetted, while 6 level 3 health facilities have been upgraded to level 4 hospitals. This makes every sub-county to have a level 4 hospital, thus freeing Machakos level 5 hospital to handle referral cases. In addition, the county has constructed and operationalized a cancer center in which cancer screening, diagnosis, treatment, and research are ongoing, and to date, the facility has served over 5,000 clients from the local population. Further, through the Universal Healthcare Pilot Program, 86% of the population was recruited and offered free health services throughout the last year. To consolidate our achievements in the health sector, Madam Speaker, I have allocated Kenya shillings 71 million for the community hospitals, Kenya shillings 71.2 million for dispensaries, and Kenya shillings 70 million to improve reproductive maternal newborn child and adolescents health services, including HIV prevention services, and Kenya shillings 10 million to cater for emergency services. A further Kenya shillings 383 million has been allocated to Machakos Level 5 Hospital. Madam Speaker, clean and safe drinking water complements efforts towards primary health care and productivity of labor. Adequate supply of water is also an essential enabler for increased agricultural production and manufacturing activities. The county intends to achieve this through the program of drilling more boreholes and rehabilitation of the existing ones, construction of dams and desilting of the existing ones, treatment of water resources, construction of elevated water tanks, construction of gabions and waterways, besides reticulation of water from bores and dam water to water points. Madam Speaker, in the last 1 year, we have intensified our resolve to provide water to Wananchi by sinking additional bores, powering and reticulating water to the water points. Madam Speaker, this is in keeping with the Bill of Rights, which states that water is a basic right. Whilst these projects are ongoing, we anticipate completing them and initiating new ones in the next financial year. To this end, therefore, I have allocated 182.7 million Kenya shillings for drilling and equipping new boreholes and completing the ones that started, while I have also allocated 219 million for construction of dams and water ponds. Madam Speaker, the instances of floods, droughts, and famine are some of the indicators of climate change. Recognizing the importance of our environment for sustainable development, the government remains fully committed to addressing the deterioration in the forest cover and the quality of the urban environment. Madam Speaker, the county will develop County Climate Change Fund regulations and submit to this Honorable House for approval. This will provide a regulatory framework for enhanced response to climate change, mechanism, and measures to achieve carbon climate development. To this end, Madam Speaker, I have proposed an allocation of 3 million Kenya shillings for mitigation of climate change under the Climate Action Plan. Madam Speaker, education is what will forge the county towards tomorrow. As the country moves towards a knowledge-based and innovation-driven economy, the county needs to expand capacity and have a greater diversity of courses, especially in the fields of new technologies and innovation. With this regard to skills development, Madam Speaker, support to technical education, vocational and entrepreneurship development as a means of job and wealth creation will remain a priority. Skills and entrepreneurship training to the out-of-school youth and young adults will be accelerated by allocation of more funds to the vocational training centers. The county is committed to construction of more ECD classes in the primary schools, distribution of learning materials, construction and improvement of vocational training institutions. Madam Speaker, in the last 1 year, we have constructed several ECD classes and deployed 950 ECD teachers, one of the highest in the country. Madam Speaker, we have also disbursed 51 million Kenya shillings to the 40 vocational training centers in the county, constructed 3 workshops at Matu, Kalokuni, and Bushani VTCs, and completed a dormitory at Chemodeke VTC. To build on these achievements, Madam Speaker, I have proposed an allocation of Kenya shillings 93.1 million for the rehabilitation and construction of vocational training centers, and Kenya shillings for 3 million for the construction of ECD classrooms. The county remains fully committed to providing opportunities for physical activity, sport and recreation to all. To this end, the Department of Youth and Sports has established 5 sports stadia whose construction is ongoing, and currently we are at different levels of completion rate. I have therefore allocated 100 million for completion of these stadiums. Madam Speaker, in order to enhance agricultural productivity among the smallholder and large-scale farmers, the county government will continue to provide subsidized certified seeds and fertilizers, free tractor services, training of farmers on post-harvest management, and establish demo farms. To reduce over-reliance on rain-fed agriculture, the government will support irrigation schemes as well as enhance water harvesting through provision of water tanks. To increase fish production, the county government will strengthen extension services, establish fish-fed pelletizers, provide quality pond liners and cold storage facilities, establish demo farms, and carry out surveillance of dams and rivers. Madam Speaker, our free tractor services are ongoing across the county, and since the inception of the program, more than 15,000 acres have been plowed, benefiting 32,210 farmers. Madam Speaker, under the quarter-acre program, 1,026 ponds have been excavated, and seeds, that is capsicum, black nightshade, kunde, namboga, targeting 2,000 farmers procured, while 79 pond liners are ready for demonstration. A further 6 tons, that is 6 tons of beans and 24 tons of green grams, targeting 30,000 beneficiaries. The county has equally embarked on fruit tree promotion, and to this end, 10,000 seedlings, each of avocado and macadamia, have been distributed to 4,000 farmers. 106,015 animals have been vaccinated against various diseases in the county, and 25,792 chicks distributed. A total of 7,753 farmers have benefited in the county climate program through the provision of seeds, fertilizer, and agrochemicals. To continue supporting these initiatives, Madam Speaker, I have allocated Kenya shillings 280 million to the Kenya Climate Smart Program, Kenya shillings 29.6 million for crop development, Kenya shillings 11 million for livestock management, and Kenya shillings 7.7 million for veterinary services. Madam Speaker, The importance of infrastructure can never be overstated. Good infrastructure has spurred economic growth by opening up market access to our farmers and easing movement of goods and services to the citizens of Machakos County. We take cognizance of the devastating effect that the heavy rains witnessed in the county had on our rural road network across the county. To consolidate the gains achieved in infrastructure, the county will continue to build on the existing and ongoing infrastructure development, roads, energy, and ICT. These will include construction and maintenance of rural access roads to increase connectivity, improve roads to bitumen standard, installation of CCTV cameras, enhance rural electrification, promotion of renewable energy, and use of installation of mlikamwizi in our markets. So far, Madam Speaker, we have lit 67 markets with 85 floodlights across the county. Going forward, 46 areas have been identified, surveyed, and designs undertaken for rural electrification. This will be undertaken in partnership with the Rural Electrification Authority to a tune of 162.4 million. I have therefore proposed a matching fund of Kenya shilling 40 million. Madam Speaker, the county has already awarded contracts for the upgrading of 3 major roads to bitumen standards, namely Kinga Kidunguri Police Station, Airways Zebra Road, Kidhini Vota Road, and Seveni Kionyweni Miu Road, whose works are ongoing. Similarly, Madam Speaker, a total of 1,081.8 kilometers of access roads has been graded with a target of 1,700 kilometers in the financial year 2020-2021. This translates to an allocation of about 1 million per ward. To sustain these developments, Madam Speaker, I have proposed an allocation of Kenya shilling 1.2 billion to the transport sector. Out of this, 322.8 million will go to rural access roads, Kenya shillings 100 million to major roads, Kenya shillings 10.9 million for ICT infrastructure, and Kenya shillings 24 million for energy conservation and renewable energy, street lighting, and floodlights. A further 239 million has been provided through the Kenya Roads Board for the routine maintenance of our county roads. A favorable business climate is essential for creating the conditions necessary to trigger and sustain economic diversification, job creation, and inclusive growth. With the thrust of creating a conducive environment for attracting investment, the government has continued to implement ease of doing business reforms targeting various sectors, including improvement in paying taxes, obtaining construction permits, starting a business, online building permit approvals, promotion of Machakos new city to attract investors, waiver of penalties and exemption of fees and charges to some traders like Mama Mboga na vijana wa vinyozi. Madam Speaker, we have distributed 500 outdoor parasols to our roadside traders besides completing Wamunyu Cloth Market, Ikalasa Market Shed, Kayole Market, and Goleni Market. We have also activated Mavivia, Mudedeni and Chumbi markets, fenced Tala and Masi livestock markets, and constructed a perimeter wall at Athi River open air market. These developments, Madam Speaker, are aimed at supporting businesses and improving their productivity and competitiveness. The county has been able to hold SME Summit, which provided entrepreneurs a platform for experience sharing, knowledge exchange, and business linkages with commercial financiers and investment partners. Madam Speaker, a business community meeting was also held to encourage increased collaboration between the county government and the private sector, as well as provide an avenue for constructive reforms in business environment in the county. Moving forward, Madam Speaker, the county will endeavor to hold quarterly stakeholder engagement forums. Madam Speaker, the county commits to upscale the development highlighted above, and to this end, I have proposed an allocation of Kenya shillings 164 million for trade department. Out of this, Kenya shillings 10.5 million has been allocated for market sheds, Kenya shillings 15 million for business incubation centers, Kenya shillings 5 million for small enterprise centers, micro enterprise centers, Kenya shillings 15 million for industrial parks, and Kenya shillings 6.75 million for investment promotion activities. On tourism promotion, Madam Speaker, the economic effects of tourism extends well beyond the core sectors. The trickle-down effect is an instant economic gain for the local people through the spending of the tourists. The county offers an authentic cultural experience with its natural attraction sites and recreation centers like the 14 Falls, Ondon Sabuk National Park, the Magnetic Hill and Gravity Site in Chamwilu, the Masinga Dam, Iveti Forest Reserve, the Komarok Shrine, Machakos People's Park, and the 5,000-seater open amphitheater and the Lukenya Hills, among others. Going forward, Madam Speaker, the county will boost this sector through marketing and partnering with the development partners in the following. Development of resort cities, construction of high-end budget hotels, investment in conference facilities, setup of amusement parks, clubs, casinos, and theaters, and film development. Madam Speaker, to develop our tourist attraction sites, I have allocated Kenya shillings 30 million. On social protection for vulnerable groups, Madam Speaker, the county government has a social responsibility to cushion vulnerable members of the society. To this end, the county continues to subsidize the cost of education through provision of bursaries to our needy and bright students at various levels. In the last 1 year, Madam Speaker, we have disbursed a total of Kenya shillings 89 million, benefiting 39,770 students. Moving forward, in the financial year 2020, I have allocated Kenya shillings 60 million to the bursary and Kenya shillings 10 million to the persons living with disability and the elderly. Further, in order to create employment for the youth, most of the projects will be labor-based. Madam Speaker, we recognize the importance of good governance for sustainable development. To this end, we have put various strategies to address corruption and ensure there is value for money. This will ensure an efficient and effective public service that will provide an enabling environment for sustainable business growth and development. Madam Speaker, over the last 3 years, the county has experienced an increase of our local revenue occasioned by various measures that have been put in place, which include automation of revenue, increased supervision, continuous mapping of all available revenue streams, sensitizing of all citizens on the benefits of paying county rents, rates, and fees, and giving incentives through interest waivers. Despite the gains, Madam Speaker, over the last few months, revenue collections shrunk considerably due to the slowed economic activities attributed to COVID-19 pandemic. Moving forward, the county will implement the following measures. 1, accelerate implementation of land titling and evaluation of properties and updating valuation roles, which I consider very critical. And adjusting fees and fines to cost-reflective levels, collapsing the pay bills to 2 only. Continuous implementation of policies and legislations formulated on fees and charges. 5, continuous mapping of all available revenue streams. And 6, strengthening internal controls and audit mechanisms to seal revenue leakages. 7, cascade targets to all receiver departments on behalf of Finance and Revenue Management Department. On the budget framework, Madam Speaker, a sound macroeconomic framework always lays the foundation for growth. Budgets are always complex, but numbers seem to be simple. For the financial year 2020-2021, revenues are projected at Kenya shillings 11.02 billion, which includes Kenya shillings 8.04 billion equitable share, Kenya shillings 1.25 billion conditional grants, and Kenya shillings 1.73 billion as own source revenue. Expenditures are estimated to be Kenya shillings 11.02 billion, comprising of 7.59 billion as recurrent expenditure, while development expenditure is estimated at 3.4 billion. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, we continue to implement our manifesto promises, and we are ensuring that our citizens live and function in a generally conducive and safe environment. We have a 5-year mandate to plan, design, initiate, and oversee the implementation of our programs and policies, and so far, records show that we have been highly successful by any standards of assessment. We are improving lives by rolling out infrastructure. We are delivering quality health care. We are ensuring that our children are able to take their rightful places in the society in a responsible manner through early childhood and vocational training and education opportunities. We continue to provide clean and safe water through dams and boreholes. We also are easing the cost of doing business in the county. And lastly, we are providing support to the most vulnerable groups in the society. Madam Speaker, this is the right policy and the right direction for building a secure and prosperous future for our populace under conditions of economic stability, sustainability, and growth dynamics. Madam Speaker, Allow me to express my gratitude to His Excellency the Governor for his leadership in the management of the economic and financial policies of the county. I would also like to thank the County Executive Committee members, chief officers, and their staff for contributions in the financial year 2020-21 budget process. Finally, Madam Speaker, my appreciation to the citizens of Machakos County and other key stakeholders who gave their insightful contributions, proposals, and suggestions as we finalized this budget. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honorable CC Finance, and thank you very much, honorable members. At this juncture, the House is going to adjourn. That is understanding under order number 4. And the next sitting, honorable members, will be on the 29th day of June 2020 at 10 a.m. That is on Monday. Thank you.
Matthew.